Game 2 going to be played out on Odyssey, a very interesting choice by Zenio. It's been a great Zerg map this season, but it surprises me that the Korean, who was mostly practicing for GSL, is familiar with this map. So I'm eager to see how it plays out and what he has in store for us.
Then again, he's on a Western team, so maybe that helps a little bit. Maybe he practices it with his teammates. But yeah, I agree. In general, I don't think this is a map which is played very, very often by the Koreans. Of course, most Koreans are focusing on the GSL. And this is a map that I don't think has ever been in GSL, and is definitely not going to come into it anymore, since it's already sort of an old map. Maybe not a map which is fully explored yet, because it's never been around consistently until we really brought it in the NASL. Well, it was in the NASL Team League as well, but
yeah, I mean, really the same. It's been played in some online cups here and there. It's played some in some of the ESL events, but it's not a map that's really ever been super mainstream.
No,
can we call it like a hipster map?
I don't know.
No?
You could basically say that, but I like the mainstream version more, Ben, because it's never been on ladder, and anything that's a ladder is mainstream. Maybe the day that Blizzard puts Crevasse in the ladder map pool, I think it's going to be mainstream.
You've got to give up on Crevasse.
I will never give up on Crevasse. I'm going to fight till Crevasse until I stop playing StarCraft.
I think it's more likely that we see Steps of War back on the ladder than Crevasse.
No, dude, Crevasse was in the last voting pool, so that kind of means that Blizzard still has a sweet spot for Crevasse. No, I have a sweet spot for Crevasse. It's such a good map.
It's such a bad map.
It brings me back of the TSL3 memories, Ben.
Do you realize on Crevasse you can push from behind destructible rocks with tanks, and there's no way to defend it?
No, that's nonsense.
It's
that
not
map
nonsense.
is so big. How can you ever say that you can defend?
There's the close, maybe cross map Crevasse is big, but close positions it's kind of small.
The only thing that's annoying about Crevasse is that you can put like tanks on the high ground if they control the Cellnaga Watchtower, then it's going to be hard to engage. And for Zergs, I guess you just hate it because Blink Stalkers and Sentries can be up on the high ground and like snipe your heads, snipe your fort base. But you're just going to have to work around that, Ben. What do you think about that?
I will agree with you saying that with the hidden message in there, which is as new maps come out, you've just got to learn how to work around it. The metagame has to evolve with the map pool, not vice versa.
Super economic opening over here from Zenio, Ben. Hedge first and then 17 spawning pool, so he's really late. Of course, it's going to delay his queens a little bit, but he did muster out a few additional drones.
Yep, ClouD going to march across the map with his first Marine.
Which is going to be a little bit effective right now, I guess, because the spawning pool is very late.
It's going to be a Marine against drones. Drones will still win that fight.
Yeah, man.
But they're going to have to work for it.
They don't sponge very hard.
ClouD might just sit on the Cellnaga tower. No, he's going to go all the way across. Cool.
How good would it be if you could have like additional skill points and you drop like a skill point on your first Marine so it gets +3 upgrades?
That sounds so balanced.
Yes, right.
That's exactly what we need.
I think it would introduce some really interesting timings.
Yeah, I think so too. Really
like you send over your first Zealot, give it +3 armor, it never dies.
Send over your first scouting probe, give it +3 attack.
Yeah, it sounds really good.
Two-shot drones.
What do you mean? +3 attack, like plus 10 for a probe. Like stun gun. Or well, you can give stun to your probes, so when you're harassing, they can never retreat. That's so cool.
That sounds so
And they can
awful.
actually fight back, so they're always forced to pull 2 SCVs. And then you stun the other one, and you have like probe micro, stun.
But then you send 3 probes, and it's just like you stun everything.
Yeah, sounds balanced.
And then they pull more SCVs, so you pull more probes. And the next thing you know, it's just SCVs versus probes in the middle of the map, but you win because probes heal and SCVs don't.
And you stun.
Double CC opening for ClouD.
Wow, talking about economic openings over here, man. ClouD perhaps realizing what he's facing. And that's definitely going to even things out for a long run. If we take a look at Zenio's Overlord placement, we can already see that he's getting in very good position, man, to spot this. His first Overlord is going to be able to spot this probably straight away. And I actually think the moment he flies in over here, of course he's going to be careful because he doesn't want to lose it to a Marine. He might actually be able to spot off both command centers, and that would be quite huge.
Yeah, it's going to be huge, but no matter what, even if Zenio knows about this, he can't really do much other than just drone. So, I mean, basically what ClouD's doing here is he's taking advantage of Zenio's opening, which is a gasless, macro-centric Zerg opening. Zenio's going to make drones and queens and spread creep, and ClouD's not going to care because he's just going to be establishing his own economy, which is great.
I mean, we almost forgot about how Dual South played out originally. We see a Roach One being morphed in over here by Zenio pretty early, and he's going to put that Spine Crawler a little bit forward. But ClouD did a lot of damage already with his very first push, in my opinion, when he forced all those drones to not be able to mine for quite a while, forced out a lot of units. And I still think if Zenio had better creep spread, that probably wouldn't have played out the same way as it actually did.
Yep, all made possible by the presence of those Hellions, even with the new and improved Queen. This time Zenio looks like he's going to be a bit more active using the Queens and maybe even the Spine Crawler to just walk forward and take back some of that control. Ooh, ClouD. forces cancels on those tumors.
Zenio is really starting off like a sort of complete wall over here with double queen, one spine crawler, roach one, and an evolution jammer.
We used to call it the Stefano wall.
Yeah, that's a long time ago. He was really one of the first who did it.
Yep.
I always watch him and go for
Oh, great job, Cloud. Picks off those tumors. This is exactly what you're supposed to do with those early Hellions. In spite of the new queen, they're still very effective. Like we've already
these
said.
days Zergs like to open with 4 queens though, so it's less of a big deal than it used to be, because both queens are regenerating energy right now. But hey, Cloud is doing a good job so far. He's having a small contain here with these 6 Hellions, which is apparently enough to scare off these 2 queens.
I love that Cloud's already researching siege mode. He sees the Roach Warren, that he maybe is recognizing the potential for like a Roach Baneling all in, which may be what we're going to see here with, well,
Wow,
plus 1 care with double Baneling Nest. That's a mistake.
And you know what I just thought of? This could be your first perfect day.
Man, don't jinx it.
Ben is today so far 3-0 in predictions, and he also predicted Cloud to win the final best of 3 of the day. So, wow, Ben, look at you getting all them check marks.
Yeah, and you wonder why I'm 10 games ahead.
Yeah, well, that was it's just this one day. This is the first. I think this is so spectacular because it's the first time it ever happened. Zenio is going to sacrifice an overload over here into the main base of Cloud, and he's going to spot this additional command, orbital command as well. So Zenio knows exactly what Cloud is doing, and he's probably not too pleased with the way that this went so far, because I think that Zenio, he seemed sort of worried, perhaps about a similar push as Cloud did on dual side, but obviously the opposite was the case, as we see Cloud playing very, very
against this kind of Terran play, you want to have a fast third base and even consider a fast fourth base with lots of drones and a big economy. Cloud kind of, I don't know, keeps Zenio in the dark and is able to take advantage by, frankly, pulling ahead. It's 53 SCVs to 55 drones. That's a great place to be if you're the Terran player. And Zenio's going to have to do something to catch up. Now, he's not in a terrible spot because Cloud's still, you know, it's not like he can push and put on immense pressure. He still doesn't even have his stem upgrade finished. But he's reaching that point in the game, Kev. He's getting these extra racks down. He's floating over that 3rd command center. And
I would say in some ways this map sort of plays out a little bit like dual side. I just feel like it's sort of a...
Oh, yeah. I completely agree.
version that's a little bit more pushed together. But other than that, it's kind of similar.
2-player map. It's smaller than Daybreak and Cloud Kingdom, but kind of geographically similar. So you get facets of all of the above, kind of. So.
Well, a lot of creep tunes now at once. As you can see, Zenio not too worried about 3 moves being cancelled anymore. See 10 creep tunes at once. That's going to be able to give him rapid creep spread. You know, it took such a long time for Zerg players to realize that multiple creep tunes at one spot like increase the speed grab so much.
It took a long time for Zerg players to realize that creep is good.
Yeah.
Like there was like a whole year of StarCraft when top Zergs still didn't really spread creep, and like it was just seen as a novelty. Oh, look at all that creep spread. That's kind of cool. And then Zergs were like, wow, I can scout. My units are faster,
and I have map pack.
And I can, I have map pack, and I can deny bases, and it's basically good in every possible way. They're scared to push onto my creep.
Creep is very, very good. Cloud is going to drive on creep right now with his Hellions. Maybe he's going to drop a scan to take out a couple of those tumors, but it wouldn't really matter because we have so many of them.
No!
A couple of Banelings. Blowing up 3 out of 5 Hellions, and perhaps the 4th Hellion is going to fall as well. We see 2 upgrades on the way for Cloud right now.
Hellions
all
get cleaned
Hellions
up in the
will
middle of
fall.
the map. How terrifying would it be? You're just riding along with your buddies in a dune buggy, like you're going out like, ah, dude, we're riding on the creek. It's like going off-roading, and then you run into some Banelings. You see your buddy just like explode in a cloud of acid. Yeah, that'd be really sad. You're like driving back crying, and then you don't see the Zerglings.
I can't believe it just happened. And then you get swarmed by Zerglings like in a movie. Like no. Yeah, that would be kind of scary, man. I wouldn't want to be a Hellion these days. Not on this map. If I was a Hellion, I want to be a Hellion on Belshire Beach, because then you have like a cool SUV or something, or SUV, you know, like an off-road. Maybe a Range Rover. You know, whoop, whoop. Come here, Hellions.
I bet. Do you think the guys that drive the Vultures think the guys that drive Hellions are sissies? I bet they do. The Vulture guy seems more hardcore to me.
I have no idea. I think the guy in the Thor is pretty badass.
No, man, that's Billy. Billy got promoted to Thor captain.
Cloud moving out with a couple of low HP Marines, perhaps just to make sure there's no hedge going up over there on the left side of the map. That's not happening. Cloud unseating all of his tanks, just something we said that he almost never does, but he has a lovely wall over here. Man, I love this supply depot wall over here. You're going to need those depots anyway. Actually, he doesn't need them because he's already maxed on depots. But
yeah, but why not?
Yeah, it works out so much. It really helps you so incredibly much against run-bys, and also keeps his bunker alive a little bit longer.
Yeah. Man, Zenio with a pretty intense creep spread, still moving it forward towards ClouD. He's up to 4 bases now, and he's kind of playing that macro style we said that ClouD sometimes struggles against. He's on Hive, he's getting his Spire, he's getting his Ultralis Cavern, he's got the mega economy, 93 drones behind it. ClouD just now starting to push forward a little bit. But he's at only 160 supply. I don't really feel like he's in a great position to challenge Zenio.
No, beautiful fungo there, right, by Zenio. Picks up most of those Marines. ClouD does pick up quite a few. Wow, look at this. Zenio really on top of this drop. Well, maybe that second baiting wasn't necessary, but the first two. The first one was really, really good. As you said, man, I don't think ClouD's going to be able to push the issue anytime soon. So I think he's going to have to wait quite a while, and that also means that basically gives Zenio the chance to get Brutalists out, but he's also making Ultras ban. And I feel in general ClouD is so much better against Ultras than he is against Brutalords.
That's because Ultras are so much worse than Brutalords.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense too.
There's a time and a place for Ultras. I still prefer going Brutalords first because then it forces the Vikings, and Ultras are quite good against Vikings.
Zenio has so many drones, man. It's almost insane. Pretty big drop over here on the north side of the map by ClouD. Only one Medivac is actually full of units, but he does have 3 Medivacs to heal all these Marines individually.
But he only unloads a couple of them, and as a result ends up doing no damage at all. So tough luck there, ClouD. He's going to be completely shut down in that attempt. What he is doing as he threatens with these drops is pushing with the brunt of his army, and this absolutely will be able to deny one of Zenio's bases.
Yeah, all the tanks, or at least most of the tanks, are actually sieging up, even in range of this hatch. I don't think Zenio's even going to try to make a stand here. That would just be silly. Just evacuate all those drones, Zenio. They're really quite safe. No, he's going to try to fight. Why would you fight?
With the Broodlings. Here we go. He's going to drop infested Terrans. Marines getting fungled pretty heavily, and Zenio may... Yeah, he is going to clean this up. And that works out okay for Zenio. Loses a base, loses some army, but I think in the long run, trades pretty effectively against ClouD.
Yeah, he actually kept a lot more Ultras alive than I guess he would have had at first. So it wasn't all that bad, but I don't think he had to fight there. I mean, he's getting a great Aspire. I would be quite pleased with the amount of tanks that ClouD had. Because, hey, it's going to be Broodlords. How many tanks do you really want to have as Terran?
One thing that he does do is force ClouD to build more tanks. ClouD is, you know, he's building an army to fight against these Ultralisks, and when the Broodlord switch comes, it's going to be tough considering that ClouD's making these tanks 3 at a time. He's going to be at 12, 15, maybe 18 tanks by the time the Broodlords are out. Small push at the bottom left is going to get cleaned up, but...
Zenio still has 85 drones, man. It's an insane amount of drones. Oh, that poor Baneling. Took the wrong exit.
You can't really be a poor Baneling, man. You're a poor Baneling when you're chosen to become a Baneling. It's like poor Zergling. Now he's a Baneling.
You can be a burrowed Baneling and just sit there for the entire game. So cool.
The only Baneling
I'm safe, I'm safe, I'm safe. And then you see the Raven,
no. Or then you see the Marines walk over you, you're like, no!
I don't want. Oh god. Gotta go. ClouD is pushing forward right now. Army supply is way bigger for ClouD. He's in 116, 1-0 for these tanks. He's 3-3 on bio units, man. I mean, Zenio has really nice upgrades as well. As you can see that he's on 2-2. I think he's working on 3-2 upgrades right now, but ClouD is already at 3-3. And just his army is bigger in general. Beautiful tank position this time as well.
A couple of tanks on the low ground being caught in an awkward position, but this is forcing Zenio to run around a lot, and every time Zenio moves, he's actually taking damage. Excellent push here by ClouD, really abusing the geography of the map, and he will once again deny this expansion. Zenio going to try to counterattack now, and while there's nothing back at home, this should be a pretty effective counter.
It is going to be an effective counter, but still, it's gonna ClouD is gonna buy himself a little bit of time. Here come the Banings blowing up on those depots. Nice fungal, but Bunker is still alive. ClouD doing mass repair. The Bunker will eventually fall, but still ClouD is buying a lot of time for himself.
Your command center, ClouD. You don't have to lose it. No, he is gonna lose that orbital. That's because he's paying so much more attention to the push. As he's denying the third base of Zenio as well, and actually you never really want to base race against a Terran player. Because at the end of the day, he can lift and you can't, and it's going to be very, very difficult, I feel, for Zenio to recover from this. He is ahead in supply.
Yeah, but ClouD has not a safety wall, and these walls in general buy Terran so much time. With those Marines behind the wall, I think he's going to force Zenio to retreat. Zenio has more supply, but army supply is heavily favoring ClouD right now.
Yes, it is, and Zenio, while he does have some money, does not have a ton of money. I would love to see him morphing some Broodlords. because I mean that would really be the saving grace. Is if he's gonna end this game, he needs to have the Broodlords out to do it.
He has a great Aspire ban, and he has a few Corruptors on the map as well. ClouD is right now actually transitioning into towards. He's going to try to pick off this great Aspire, and that's exactly what he's going to do straight away with this little bio squad. And I think this is looking starting to look worse and worse for Zenio.
That might actually be curtains for Zenio. ClouD closing in on the natural. Zenio's army has either been pulled back or cleaned up, and ClouD.
Look at all these Marines, man, picking off a couple of Corruptors, picking off Banelings now as well. And
oh my God, I can't believe this. ClouD's going to win 2-0. Zenio getting pushed around a little bit by the Italian. Beautiful, beautiful gameplay here by ClouD. Great decision to go ahead and push on that third instead of coming back when Zenio attacked with the counter. Here comes all the units of Zenio, and he will clean up this attacking force. But what's he going to do now? He's got no bases. There are no bases for Zenio. He's got no income. 0.
And he still has 62 drones.
He could distance mine pretty effectively.
If there was ever an effective long distance mine, Zenio is going to rebuild this hatch over here, and I guess he's going to build a hatch over here as well. But still, as you said, man, what is he going to do? ClouD is not mining all that much either right now. We shouldn't forget it, but he still has those orbital commands. So the moment he's going to be able to secure this base, and I can guarantee you this time it is going to be, you know, a planetary fortress, because ClouD knows the shape that he's in, and he knows that all he has to do is just survive a little bit. Here comes 6 mules, and well. ClouD already had 46 SVs, but those 6 mules are really gonna.
Income's gonna skyrocket.
ClouD's icing on the cake, Ben.
Not the frosting on the ice or whatever.
The topping on the ice.
There you go.
Wow, that's pretty cool. You have topping on the ice.
ClouD is, of course, doubling the army supply of Zenio, as well as enjoying a substantial economic lead because of his picking off of all those hatcheries. Zenio in mega trouble. ClouD dropping in the main base now, and as he does that, he's gonna go ahead and push up the bottom half of the map, or right half of the map. Zenio is in a terrible, terrible position. What is he going to do? He's lost his spawning. Well, he hasn't lost it yet. Actually, no, he cleans up that drop. Good job, Zenio. But does he have an answer to this other push?
I'm not sure about that, Ben. Zenio does still have a reasonable amount of units, but it's only 61 real army supply, while ClouD has 120 army supply. ClouD is up 50. It's just crazy. ClouD is so far ahead.
Every time that tank shoots, it really, really hurts, man. ClouD is actually going to go back home this time, does not want to risk dying to a counterattack. He feels that this game is firmly within his grasp.
Yeah, the planetary is going to help out so much, and we have all those stores over here as well.
Oh, it's a trap, Kev. Where are you going to go, Zenio? That's not the exit. Wow, excellent fungal there, but I don't think it matters because that's army supply that Zenio can't afford to lose. ClouD cleans up a ton of units there. 173 supply for ClouD against 105 supply for Zenio. And
ClouD is just so good against this type of playstyle that Zenio is throwing at him. And Zenio had the great Aspire ban, and he really had the choice. Do I want to go Ultras or Broodlords first? And I really think this would have been a completely different game if he would have chosen the Broodlords.
Yeah, and even disregarding that, he could have switched into Broodlords. He had that opportunity. He could have made maybe 6 Broods at one point. Yeah. But instead, just choosing not to. And ClouD really punishing that. ClouD hasn't built a single Viking in either of these 2 games. And just demonstrating why and how he is so comfortable against a style of Zerg that disregards the strength of the Broodlord.
He's able to display some of that Broodlord multitasking. It's kind of funny that the European in this case is the former StarCraft player and the Korean is the former Warcraft 3 player.
Yeah, not often that we have the opportunity to say something like that. Zenio's army once again trying to counterattack, but ClouD once again going to close in on it. A couple of Corruptors going to try to pick off this this command center, but it does not matter. Good game. ClouD 2-0. Zenio, huge win for ClouD, makes him 4-3 in the group. Zenio falls to 5-3.
Wow, things are really shifting up after today's play day in Division 1. Puma is the only one who's still undefeated. He's 6-0. I do still think he has to catch up a game against Night End. I actually wonder if that has been played yet. Probably not, otherwise we would have probably casted it today. But yeah, I guess a couple of players tied right now for 2nd place. TT1 is going to be 5-2, Zenio is 5-3, and Stefano is 5-2 as well. And ClouD and Night End are getting close, with ClouD 4-3 and Night End 3-3.
Yeah. Awesome gameplay. That one was brought to you by Kingston HyperX.
Wow,
Kingston.com. for their full line of SSDs and RAM. I'm trying to get my own Kingston SSD right now, 480. Like a boss.
Go for it, man.